you cannot see, click on that. Okay. So last week, Alia had sent the homework. All right, method. 1.2 AK, second AK 1 and third AK 2. Okay, we'll see. One point two. 1.2 AK, second AK 1. Okay. So let's start with exercise 1.2. Did you all do the homework, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up if you did the homework. What about others? Others? So thumbs up Deepa Vitra the homework tick kare. What about others? Okay. Exercise 1.2 එක මම homework දීලා තියෙන. ළමයි last week most of you have sent the maths note, right? මම last week ගොඩක් අයගේ check කරේ නැහැ note එක. Today also once we are finished with the class send me the note. Then last week note එකයි අද note එකයි මම දෙකම එකට correct කරලා ඔයගලන්ට if there's anything to correct or anything like that I will let you guys know. So අද note එකත් ඔයගලන් එවලා තියන්න for sure, okay? Then I will correct last week's and today's one together. So second decade, Roman number 1. Find the radius of the sector when the angle, Roman number 1, the QA1, 1. When the angle at the center is 180 and the perimeter is 180 centimeters. So you know what is the equation for perimeter? Perimeter equals theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r plus 2r. Now this is the general formula for perimeter. This is the general formula for perimeter. Now according to the information, we have to find the radius. So api r තමයි හොයන්න ඕනේ. Angle at the center is 180 degrees. Perimeter is 180 centimeters. So instead of perimeter here, I'm going to write 180 centimeters. Theta is 180 degrees divided by 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by pi is 22 over 7 multiplied by r. So radius එක අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. So I will keep r as it is. Plus 2r. Again r I don't know. So I will keep it as it is. Then you know 180 times 1 is 180. 180 times 2 is 360. Then මෙතන 2 cancel වෙනවා. So this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled. So that is it. Okay. So I will write the remaining ones. මේ පැත්තේ 183. මේ පැත්තේ 22 over 7 r plus 2r. How do we simplify this further? Lamai, we have to find r. Now r is at 2 different places. So what do we do here?
Make r the subject.
Yeah, how do I make r the subject? Now r is at 2 different places. How do I make r the subject?
First multiply 7 from one side and another 7 from 180.
Multiply one side by 7 and the other side by 180. But here, I think what you're trying to say is that the r මෙතන දෙකක් තියෙනවා. So there is an addition sign, plus sign එක. එතන r tan දෙකේ තියෙන r අපි add කරොත් එහෙම අපිට එක තැනකට එනවනේ. So what we have to do is add these two. Now here this is a fraction. Here යට මොනවත් නැහැ. So යට මොනවත් නැහැ කියන්නේ 1 තියෙනවා. Now, when you add or subtract two fractions, you know that there should be a common denominator. Methana denominator is 7, methana denominator is 1. So they are not the common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by 7. එයාව 7 ගෙන් multiply කරොත් මම මේකත් 7 ගෙන් multiply කරන්න ඕනේ. Okay? So what I have is මේ පැත්තේ 180 තියෙනවා. Equals, here I have 22 over 7r. Here I have 2 times 7 is 14. So 14r divided by 7. 1 times 7 is 7. Now we have common denominator. When you have a common denominator, lamai what a lazy fractions දෙක add කරන්න. දෙන්නගෙම තියෙන common denominator එක තමයි answer එකේ denominator එක numerators දෙක add කරනවා. 22r plus 14r would be 36r නේද? 2 plus 4 is 6, 2 plus 1 is 3. Then මම මේ දෙන්නගේ side මාරු කරලා ලියනවා. Same thing no? 36 r divided by 7 කියන එක මේ පැත්තේ ලියනවා, 180 කියන එක මේ පැත්තේ ලියනවා. Okay. Now, then r ව තනි කරගන්න බෑ because I want to find the value of r. I want to find the value of r, so I have to isolate r. එහෙනම් මම මොකද කරන්නේ? මේ දෙපැත්තම 7 ගෙන් multiply කරනවා. So දෙපැත්තම 7 ගෙන් multiply කරාම මෙතන මේ 7 උයි මේ 7 උයි cancel වෙනවා. And also මම දෙපැත්තම 36 ගෙන් divide කරනවා. Then what happens? මෙතන 36 උයි මෙතන 36 උයි cancel වෙනවා. So only r is remaining on this side, so r is remaining. අනිත් පැත්ත බලමු. 36 කියන්නේ 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 2 is 18, මේ 0 එකහම 20. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 5 is 20. Then 5 times 7 is 35. Then radius is 35 centimeters. Did you all get this answer, lamai?
Yes, teacher.
Lamai, did you all get this answer? What about others?
Yes, teacher.
Mm-hmm. Answer kapu නැති කට්ටියට, I hope you understood how to do this, right? Okay, Maria, is it clear how to do this? All right, great. I will give you 1 minute to make any mistakes or correct recorrect කරන්න තියෙන දේවල් කරගන්න. I will give you 1 minute to do recorrections. I hope you can see the board. Quickly make any recorrections. Oh, I'm sorry. What happened? All right, okay. All right. So, ඔයගලන්ට මීට වඩා correction එකක් කරගන්න තියෙනවා නම් take a screenshot, or after the class I will send you the whiteboard. Whiteboard එකේ PDF එකක් එවනම් after the class, then also you can copy down anything that you couldn't copy down during the class. All right. In the third one, I gave you Roman number 2 නේද? Third එකේ, yeah, no, right, okay. Let's see what the question says. Find the angle at the center of the sector when the perimeter is 53 centimeters and radius is 21 centimeters. ළමයි හැම වෙලේම you have to first use this formula. Perimeter equals theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r plus 2r, right? So I'm going to write that formula here. Perimeter equals theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r plus 2r. Now, according to that question, we have to find the angle at the center. Can be theta tamai honu. Perimeter 53 centimeters. Theta අපි දන්නේ, that is what we have to find, divided by 360 multiplied by 2, pi is 22 over 7 multiplied by r. Radius is 21 centimeters, right? Jevindu, did you try clicking on the link that I sent in the main chat? මම දැන් ආයෙ තව link එකක් එවන්නම් බලන්න. මම ඔයාලට දැන් එවුවා. Check that link. Plus 2r means 2 times r. Again, radius is 21, no? Jevindu, let me know. So here, 7 times, now let's do the simplification, right? 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 0. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 60 is 120. Then 2 times 11 is 22, 2 times 30 is 60. මීට වඩා අපිට simplify කරන්න බෑ. නේද? By the way, Jevindu, can you see the whiteboard now? You can even give me a thumbs up. Okay, right. බලමු ඉතුරුලා තියෙන ටික මේ පැත්තේ 53 ඉතුරුයි. Here theta ඉතුරුයි multiplied by here උඩ 11 ඉතුරුයි යට 30 ඉතුරුයි. 11 මෙතන තමයි 30 whatever. Plus 2 times 21 is 42. දැන් මම මොකද කරන්නේ මේ දෙන්නක පැති දෙක මාරු කරලා ලියනවා. So 11 divided by 30 theta divided by 30 multiplied by 11 plus 42 equals 53. දෙන්නගේ sides දෙක මාරු කරලා විතරයි. So now if I want to remove this 42, මම දැන් මෙතන plus 42 නේ. So මම minus 42 කරනවා. එතකොට මේ පැත්තත් minus 42. So මේ දෙන cancel වෙලා I have 11 theta divided by 30. Theta times 11 is 11 theta නේ. මෙතන 53 minus 42 කියන්නේ 11. Then 30 අයින් කරගන්න ඕනේ නේද? මම දෙපැත්තම 30 ගෙන් multiply කරනවා. එතකොට මේ 30 cancel වෙනවා. Then I divide both sides by 11. එතකොට මේ 11 cancel වෙනවා. What I have is here theta is the only thing remaining equals මෙතන 11 cancel වෙනවා. Only 30 is remaining. That is 30 degrees. Did you all get this answer? Okay, for recorrections, I will give you 2 minutes. Quickly copy down if you have any recorrections to do. If you have to correct any mistakes or anything where any place where you have gone wrong. What do you mean equal signs in front of the equation? Going step by step. Do you mean may equal signs? Is this what you mean, Sasheli? Then Which equal signs? මෙහෙම at the front equal sign දානකද? මේ වගේ front එකේ equal sign දානකද? එහෙම දාන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මේක equation එකක් නේ. equation එකක් නම් already equal signs මෙතන තියෙද්දි ආයේ front එකේ දාන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Like අනිත් වෙන simplifications වල it's okay to put equal signs for step by step calculations, but here it's already an equation, already an equal sign is there, so you don't have to separately put other equation signs. Okay, one more minute, copy down. Yes, then මෙතන මේ 40 දැන් මෙතන තිබ්බේ theta over 30 multiplied by 11 plus 42 කියලානේ. දැන් මම theta ව තනි කර ගන්න ඕනේ because I want to find the value of theta, right? So I have to isolate theta. ඒකට මොකද කරන්නේ? මුලින්ම මම මේ 42 එක අයින් කරනවා. This is plus 42 නේ. මම යාව අයින් කරගන්න නම් minus 42 එකක් add කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ පැත්තට minus 42 එකක් දැම්මොත් මම මේ පැත්තට minus 42 එකක් දානවා. දැන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ plus 42 එකයි minus 42 එකයි cancel වෙනවා. So මේ පැත්තේ 42 එක එහෙමම තියෙනවා. Then 53 minus 42 is 11. ඊළඟට දැන් මේ පැත්තේ ඉතුරු වෙනවා 11 theta over 30. I want to isolate theta. එහෙනම් 11 උයි 30 අයින් කරගන්න ඕනේ. 30 divide වෙලානේ තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් මම 30 වයින් කරන්න නම් 30 එකක් මම multiply කරන්න ඕනේ. So මේ පැත්තට මම මොන හරි කරනවා නම් ඔයා ඒකම මේ පැත්තට කරන්නත් ඕනේ. So මම මේ පැත්ත 30 වලින් multiply කරනවා. Then to remove this 11, I divide this side by 11. So 11 capital 11 remove වෙනවානේ. If I add 11 to this side, මම මේ පැත්තට 11 add කරන්න ඕනේ. Then මෙතන add කරපු 11 cancel වෙනවා. 30 cancel වෙලා theta isolate වෙනවා. Then මේ පැත්තේ may 11 cancel vela 30 is remaining, so theta would be 30 degrees. Shweta, is it clear? Okay. Okay, enough time to copy down. Let's move on to the next homework. 1.3 ke third එක. Exercise 1.3, I have given you the third one. Let me see. 1.3 third, okay. Let me get this question to our whiteboard, Lama. Okay. The figure illustrates how an equilateral triangle of side length 7 centimeters is drawn within a sector of a circle of radius the length of a side of a triangle. මෙතන තියෙනවා අපිට sector එකක්. This is the sector. In addition to the sector, we also have what? We have a triangle. See? We also have a triangle. One second. Okay. So we have a sector, we have a triangle. They say it's an equilateral triangle of side length 7 centimeters. You know, when they say equilateral, that means all the three sides are equal. May side dekai, may side dekai, may side dekai equal. And if one side is 7 centimeters, all these three sides are 7 centimeters. Then there is a sector of a circle of radius the length of a side of a triangle. මේ sector එක ගත්තොත් මේ sector එකේ radius එක කියන්නේ අර triangle එකේ side length එකම තමයි. So the radius of the sector is also 7 centimeters. Let's see what they're asking. Roman number 1. Find the arc length of the sector of the circle. Circle sector එකේ arc length එක හොයන්න කියලා. Now you should remember the formula for finding arc length, right? So arc length කියලා කියන්නේ equals theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. මෙතන plus 2r නෑ. plus 2r එන්නේ perimeter නම්. This is not the perimeter, this is just the arc length. So arc length හොයන්නේ theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. If you take this sector, what do you think is theta? Theta කියන්නේ මෙතන දැන් this is the sector no. මේ sector එකේ angle එක කියන්නේ මෙන්න මෙයා. What is theta?
60 degrees.
Okay, Basma says 60 degrees. What do others think? Okay, 60 degrees. Yes, it is correct. Shweta, yes, 60 degrees is correct. But why 60? How did you get 60?
Because it's an equilateral triangle. And all the sides are 60.
Yes. If it's an equilateral triangle, in an equilateral triangle, all the side lengths are equal and all the interior angles are equal and they're 60 degrees. එහෙනම් අපි දන්නවා theta කියන්නේ 60 degrees, right? Because it's an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle එක කොහොමත් ඇතුලේ angles 60 degrees තමයි. So 60 divided by 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by pi is 22 over 7. What is the radius here? What is the radius here?
7 centimeters.
Yes. They have said that the radius is the same as the side of a triangle. Side of a triangle is 7 centimeters, so the radius is 7 centimeters. Let's simplify. May 0 to May 0 cancel. Whenever 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 6 is 36. Then 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 1 is 7. What we have remaining is උඩ තියන්නේ 22 විතරයි යට තියන්නේ 3 විතරයි. So 22 you have to divide by 3. Okay? So 22 or 3 again divide කළ බලමු. 3 times 7 is 21. 22 minus 21 means 1 remaining. මං අතෙන් 0 එකක් දානවා. මම අතෙන් 0 එකක් දැම්මොත් I have to put a decimal point here. Then 3 times 3 is 9. 1 remaining. Again, I put a 0. Then already decimal place එකක් තියෙන හින්දා I don't have to add another one, right? I can just keep it like this. Then 3 times 3 is 9 again. 1 remaining. 3 times 3 is 9. Likewise, 3, 3, 3, 3 එනවා. So I put the answer as එක්ක 7.3 කියලා තියන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් 7.33 කියලා තියන්න පුළුවන්. That is the arc length. Did you all get this arc length, ළමයි?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Sector was a shaded part. Sector එක shaded part එක වෙන්න විදිහක් නැහැ. එකක් කොහොමත් when you see it, you should be able to identify that it is not a sector. Sector එකක center එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ circle එකේ. මේ චූටි කෑල්ල විතරක් ගත්තොත් එයා sector එකක් නෙවෙයි. And anyways question එකේ instructions වල දීලා තියෙනවා කොහොමද sector එක ගන්න කියලා. Anyhow, you understood it, right? Maria, is it clear? Okay. Now we have to find the perimeter of the shaded region. Mama simplification part එක erase කරන්න make it just division. No, you guys are not kids. You know how to divide, right? We have to find the perimeter of the shaded region. Now this is the shaded region. බලන්න හොඳට shaded region එකේ මෙන්න මේ කොටස කියන්නේ that's the arc length, right? අපිට arc length එක ආව 7.3 centimeters කියලා. එහෙනම් the arc length is 7.3 centimeters. What is this length?
7 centimeters.
Yes, because it is a side of an equilateral triangle. It's 7 centimeters. එහෙනම් අපිට ලේසියෙන්ම මෙයාගේ perimeter එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. One second, Sandaru, I will reply. එතකොට we have to find the perimeter like this. Perimeter equals 7.3 centimeters plus 7 centimeters. Those are all the lines that there are, right? Then 7.3 plus 7 would be 14.3 centimeters. Did you all get this answer? Give me a thumbs up if you did. Or if you understood, මේක තේරුණත් කමක් නැහැ. Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's the third one. I will give you 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes to do the recorrections. Make it fast. One more minute. If you have any recorrections, quickly do those. Okay. Then our next homework is miscellaneous exercise ke third and fourth, right? Miscellaneous exercise third and fourth. So let's move on. Miscellaneous exercise third. So let me get the third question to the whiteboard. අපිට තියෙනවා rectangular plot of land with circular flower beds. So we have a rectangular plot of land with two semicircular flower beds at the two ends. The shaded region is a lawn. Lawn කියන්නේ තනකොළ තියෙන area එකක්. So that is the shaded region, that is the lawn. එතකොට දෙපැත්තේ මෙන්න මේ කොටසයි මේ කොටසයි these are the flower beds, right? And this part is the lawn. Okay. Let's look at the question. Find the perimeter of the lawn. Lawn එක කියන්නේ ළමයි shaded කොටස. And we have to find the perimeter. Now, when we find the perimeter, what is this length? What is this length? Hmm?
20 meters.
20 meters, because it's given, no, it's very obvious. Lawn එක කියන්නේ මේ මැද කොටස. ඒකේ perimeter එක හොයන්න ගියාම ආ වටේ ටික add කරන්න ඕනේ. So you know that this length is 20 meters. What about this length?
20 meters.
20 meters, yes. Then we have to find this one and this one. So මේ දෙන්නම ඇත්තටම එකම වගේ දෙන්නෙක් නේ. මෙයාගේ තියෙන radius එක, now the diameter is 14, so you know the radius is 7. So radius 7 තියෙන semicircle එකක් මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. මෙතනත් තියෙන්නේ radius 7 තියෙන semicircle එකක්. So I will find the arc length of one. I will find the arc length of this arc. මෙන්න මේ arc එකේ arc length එක තමයි මම දැන් හොයන්න හදන්නේ. Okay? You know how to find the arc length? Theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. What is theta when you consider this arc?
180.
180 over 360. You know 180 over 360 is කෙලිම half නේ. ඉතින් මම කෙලිම half කියලා දාන්න. 2 pi is 22 over 7. What is the radius of that particular arc?
7 meters.
7 meters. Good. Meters කියන එක මාරම important because you cannot get the units confused. The moment you have the correct answer, but your units are wrong, you are not getting marks for that correct answer. උත්තරේ හරි වුණාට units නැත්තම් උත්තරේට ලකුණු දෙන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. Please always keep that in mind. So 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 1 is 7, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2, and we only have 22 remaining. So arc length of one of these arcs is 22. So you can make arc 22. එහෙනම් අනිත් එකත් කොහොමද 22 නේ? They are both similar නේ. Now I can find the perimeter. Here 20 meters, here 20 meters. Here this arc length අපි හොයාගත්ත 22 කියලා මෙතනත් ඒ වගේ මාර්කයක් තියෙනවා. So that is also 22. So 22 meters plus 22 meters. 20 meters plus 20 meters is 40 meters. 22 plus 22 is 44. And you should get 84 meters. මේක ආවද ළමයි? Yes.
Yes, teacher.
All right. Meters තියෙන ඕනේ unit එක. If meters are not there, your answer is wrong. It has been decided to lay tiles around the lawn. Lawn එක වටේට tiles දාන්න ඕනේ. Each tile is of length 25 centimeters. Find the minimum number of tiles that are required. මේ lawn එක ගත්තොත් lawn එකේ perimeter එක දැන් අපි හොයාගත්තා. Perimeter is 84 meters. How much would that be in centimeters? 84 meters, how much would that be in centimeters? You don't know? How do we convert meters to centimeters? Nobody knows. Yes, Shweta, correct. 8,400 centimeters. Yes, Maria. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. It took some time. So, Shweta, Maria, correct. Thank you for giving the answer. But others also, you should answer. This is something that you know, right? 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Then if it's 84 meters in centimeters, that would be 8,400 centimeters. එක tile එකක length එක 25 centimeters නේ. එහෙනම් number of tiles අපි කොහොමද ගන්නෙ? Total perimeter එක 8,400 centimeters. එක tile එකක length එක 25 centimeters. So now we have to simplify. Centimeters unit එක කොහොමද කැපෙනවා? 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 remaining. 34 කියන්නේ 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 4 remaining. 4 to me 0 hum it's 40. That is 5 times 8 is 40. Me 0 ke hema meno. Then 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 16 can 1 remaining. 1 me 8 hama that is 18. 18 is also 5 times 3 is 5 times 3 is 15. 16, 17, 18, 3 remaining. 3 to me 0 hama 5 times 6 is 30. So you should get the number of tiles as 336 tiles. Make avada. Others? Okay. I will give you a minute to do the recorrections. While you do the recorrections, Lama, give me like 2 minutes. I have a bit of a wheezing situation, so I will quickly get my inhale and come. එතක ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ recorrections තියෙන ඔක්කොම කරගන්න. Just give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes are enough. Okay? Okay, Lamai. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Then question number 4. For the yeah, question number 4, no? Let me get the question to the text whiteboard. Grill like kata. Can you all hear me, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. All right. So we have a portion of a grill to be fixed to a window has been made by combining two equal sectors of circles as shown in the figure. The person making the grill states that based on the given data, a wire of length 128 centimeters is required for it. මේ තියෙන එක වය එකක්. මේ එක වය එකක් නවලා තියෙනවා සෙට් එකක් විදියට. And then මේ තියෙන තව වය එකක් එයාවත් සෙට් එකක් විදියට නවලා තියෙනවා. So all together ඔක්කොගෙම length එක wire එකේ length එක 128 centimeters කියලා අපි පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ. These are two equal sectors of circles. දෙන්නම equal sectors හින්දා මම එකක perimeter එක හොයලා 2 වලින් multiply කරොත් මට දෙන්නගෙම perimeter එක එනවා. Right? Since there are two equal sectors, if I find the perimeter of one sector and I multiply it by 2, I get the perimeter of both the sectors, right? එහෙනම් මම එන්නේ මේ විදිහට තමයි කරන්න හදන්නේ. Okay? So I will find the perimeter of one sector. Perimeter of one sector. So මම මෙන්න මේ sector එකේ තමයි perimeter එක ගන්න හදන්නම. Yeah, this sector. You know how to get the perimeter. You know the formula. Theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r plus 2r. What is theta in this sector? What is theta?
60 degrees.
What is radius?
21 centimeter.
Yes.
21.
Yes. 21 centimeters. 60 over 362 multiplied by pi is 22 over 7. Radius is 21 centimeters. Plus 2r. 2r means 2 multiplied by, again the radius is 21 centimeters. Now we will simplify. 0, 0 cancel වෙනවා. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Then 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. 3, 3 cancel වෙනවා. Then only 22 is remaining. Excuse me, Lamai. So 22 centimeters is remaining. 2 times 21 is, 42. Then add karama, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So you get the perimeter of one sector as 64 centimeters. Now you know that there are two equal sectors. අපි දැන් මේ හෙව්වේ එක sector එකක perimeter එක which was 64 centimeters. You can see there's another sector. Maybe our sector. Let me choose a different color for this. This is another sector. Now, my sectors dekhe perimeter sectors dekhe equal. So perimeters are also equal. If the perimeter of one sector is 64 centimeters, total perimeter kiyanne dennagema perimeter එක so 64 centimeters multiplied by 2. That would be 128 centimeters. And they're asking us to show with reasons that his statement is correct. See, හරිනේ අපිට ආවනේ. Therefore අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන්. Therefore his statement was correct. ඒකනේ අපිට කියන්නේ show with reasons that his statement was correct. It is correct, right? His statement is correct. Okay, Ramai. Did you all understand this question? All clear?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. If you all have any questions, you can ask. I will give you 2 minutes to copy down and do any recorrections. 2 minutes, quickly. Anita, copy කරගන්නකම් මට කියන්න. That's all the homework I gave last week, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, great. Okay, 2 minutes. Quickly copy down if you have anything to copy down. One more minute. Okay, Lamai. So we will move on to our new lesson today. So අපි දැන් ඉවර කරේ grade 10 the first lesson which is perimeter, right? So now we are going to do the second lesson which is square root. Before we move on to square root, can I ask you, do you have any doubt in the perimeter lesson? Now is everything clear? If everything is clear, just give me a thumbs up. Sasheli, Sayul, Basma, Joshua, Kushit, Aisha. Okay. Now we are going to move on to square root, right? So perimeter wala kisima doubt එකක් තියාගෙන we can't move to a new lesson now. That's why I asked you before moving to the new lesson. So I think in a previous week I must have told you that in science now mama lesson by lesson ඔගන්ට worksheet එකක් දෙනවා. Right? I told you the worksheet that is made from O-level past paper questions. So usually in science I give you a worksheet for every lesson. In maths, it's not very possible because there are a lot of lessons. So mama ekinda karanne lessons keep let's say first 5 lessons ivar unahama wage I will give you a worksheet from those 5 lessons and we will continue like that. Okay? So first 3 lessons or first 5 lessons depending on the size of the lesson I will decide and I will give you a worksheet accordingly. So every lesson I don't give you a separate worksheet but ara vidira karama because in maths there are a lot of lessons now. So we will spend more time to complete the lessons. And tunak pahak wage iwara wunahama we will do the worksheet. Okay? All right. Put the topic square root. Square root. Now, lamai, there are a few things that you know about square roots from the early grades, right? Ekak tama you know. Now, let's say for an example, 2 times 2. What is the answer for 2 times 2?
4.
4.
4.
1 times 1?
1.
1.
1.
1. 3 times 3?
9.
9.
Sorry, lamai. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4?
16.
16.
16. 5 times 5?
25.
25.
Then 6 times 6?
36.
36.
Then, Abhinata random agamu, let's say 10 times 10?
100.
100.
Let me 1 second. Let me silence my phone. Okay. 10 times 10 is 100. If we take 12 times 12, Lamai, can you excuse me for a second? Sorry. Okay. Yes, 12 times 12, what do we get? 12 times
144.
145.
Yes. If I ask you like, let's say, 15 times 15?
225.
255.
Others, what do you get for 15 multiplied by 15?
225.
225.
Yes, 225. Likewise, whenever you multiply the same number by that number, like whenever you multiply two identical, like two similar numbers, you can get the square root of that number, right? එතකොට මට මේ ටික මෙන්න මෙහෙම කියන්න පුළුවන්. I can say, when I say 1 times 1, I can say square of 1 is equal to 1. When I say 2 times 2, that means 2 ge square, that is 4. 3 times 3 means the square of 3, which is 9. 4 times 4 is the square of 4, which is 16. 5 times 5 means the square of 5, which is 25. Then 6 times 6 is square of 6, which is 36. 10 times 10 means square of 10, which is 100. And 12 times 12 means square of 12, which is 144. And finally, 15 times 15 means square of 15, which is 225. Okay. So any number, when you get the square of that number, you get a certain value. Square එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ එකම number එක දෙපාරක් multiply වෙලා. Okay, that is all good. Now, මම මෙහෙම අහනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ, right? What is the square root of 4?
2.
2.
Yes. 2 multiplied by 2, 4 ආව නම් 4 ගේ square root එක කියන්නේ 2. Square root means මේ number එක හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ මොන වගේ numbers දෙකක් multiply වෙලාද කියලා තමයි අහන්නේ. So 2 times 2 or square of 2 is 4. And now square root of 4 means 2. Then square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 9 is?
3.
Square root of 16 is? 25?
5.
Yes.
5.
Likewise, may hammer came square root එක, you can get the answer easily. 10 and then 144 ගේ square root එක 12 and then 225 ගේ square root එක 15 and so on. Okay. So this is what we already know about square roots. Okay. So because of that, if I randomly give you, let's say, 4 ගේ square root එක කියලා අහුවොත් ඔයගලන් දන්නවා the answer is 2. If I ask you the square root of, let's say, square root of 9, you know that it's 3. But if I ask you the square root of 6, what do we get for that?
3.
Square root of 6 is 3.
3 point something. 3 point something. Yeah.
2 point something.
It'll be 2 point something, no?
Yes.
Yes, because 3 ගේ square කරේ 9 කියන්නේ. The 2 and 3 මැද ඉන්න number එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ 6 ගේ square root එක. So that should be a number between 2 and 3. That means 2 point something. In this lesson, we are going to be learning exactly that. If you get perfect square numbers, it's very easy to find the square root. Perfect square numbers can මෙන්න මේ වගේ ඒවා. 25 maybe, 36, 100, 144, 225. Likewise, මේවා වල square root එක කිව්වම you can give like a specific number. Those are called perfect squares. In perfect squares, when you're finding the square root, it's so easy because you have a specific number. But එහෙම නෑනේ හැමෝම perfect square එකක් නෙවෙයි. As I said, now 4 is a perfect square, යාගේ square root එක 2. 9 is a perfect square, යාගේ square root එක 3. But what about root of 6? ඒක perfect square එකක් එන්නේ නෑ. 2 and 3 අතර තියෙන මොකක් හරි decimal value එකක් තමයි එන්නේ. And you know, square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. What about the square root of 30? එහෙනම් 5 and 6 මැද මොකක් හරි decimal number එකක් තමයි එන්න ඕනේ. Likewise, if you take a perfect square, the square root has a specific number, but හැම වෙලේම perfect square numbers එන්නේ නැහැ. If you are given a random number and you are asked to find the square root, you should be able to do that. Okay. ඒක කරන්න, in this lesson, we are going to be learning two methods. එකක් අපි කියනවා first approximation කියලා. The other method, we call it the division method. Okay. So let's write a bit. මෙන්න මේ ටික square root කියලා topic එක දැම්මම මෙන්න මේ ටික ලියා ගන්න ළමයි. මෙහෙම ලියලා මෙහෙම පොඩි separation එකක් දාලා මේ part එක ලියා ගන්න. And then below this I will write a few sentences. Quickly write. Medically, again, Lamek, quickly write the two sentences, three sentences. There are 3 points. Quickly write this. Let me know when you're done, Lamai. Okay, Lamai. Everybody done? Anybody who needs more time? You can't see which part, Sayul. Mulu board dekamada natham the bottom part or the top part? What can't you see? Bottom, okay. Now I hope you can see I scrolled it down a bit. Can you see it now, Sayul? Okay, one more minute. Then we will learn these two methods. Okay. So now you can see that the first method is first approximation method. Second method is the division method. Okay. Ape mulima we will learn the first method. Right? Ape mulima gana gama first method. So the first method is called first approximation method. Put a subtopic first approximation method. Okay. I'm not going to write a note for this. We will start with an example. Example. Aap examples dekha vitra khala, then I will let you do one alone. Example number 1. The question says, you have to find the square root of 5. That means ළමයි 5 ගේ square root එක හොයන්න ඕනේ. Is 5 a perfect square number? Does it have like a perfect, like a nice square root?
No.
No.
No. එහෙනම් හරි. Okay, so 5 is not a perfect square number. It's okay. Now අපි 5 ගේ square root එක ගැන කොහොමද හොයන්න ඕනේ? ඔන්න මම 5 with the square root sign මම මෙන්න මෙහෙම ලියනවා. Now tell me, what is the perfect square number just before 5? Just before 5.
4.
4. What is the square number just after 5?
9.
9. So we have to find the square root of 5 නේ. අපි 5 ගේ square root එක හොයන්න දන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි 4 ගේ square root එක අපි දන්නවා. 4 ගේ square root එක 2. And 9 ගේ square root එක අපි දන්නවා. 9 ගේ square root එක කියන්නේ 3. 9 ගේ square root එක කියන්නේ 3. Okay. So our 5, we have to find the square root of 5. That is greater than 4 but less than 9. Now, if the square root of 4 is 2 and the square root of 9 is 3, square root of 5 should be between 2 and 3. Right? Square root of 5 should be between 2 and 3. Okay, so I will just write a small. मैं मनात लिया ने पा, just listen ना. Square root of 5 is between 2 and 3. Harine. Now, ළමයි, if we look at this, between 2 and 3 කිව්වහම මේ space එක you can divide into 2. How? You know exactly between 2 and 3 what is the number we have? What is the number we have exactly between 2 and 3? 2.5. Whatever දෙන්න මැදිනේ 2.5. Now tell me, is 5 closer to 4 or closer to 9?
4.
Yes, closer to 4. 5 ළමයි 4ට ළඟින් ඉන්න. 4ට ළඟින් ඉන්නව නම්, now you know between 2 and 3 the midpoint is 2.5 no. එහෙනම් 5 ගේ square root එක එන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ දෙකත් මැද. Because 5 is generally closer to 4, not to 9. එහෙනම් square root of 5 should be between 2 and 3 තමයි. එතනත් it should be between 2 and 2.5. මේ කොටසට එන්න බෑ. Because 5 is closer to 4. Okay. So, here, the square root of 5 should be between 2 and 2.5. So, between 2 and 2.5, what do we have? Between 2 and 2.5, what do we have? We have 2.1, we have 2.2, we have 2.3, and we have 2.4. So, අපි බලන්න ඕනේ මෙතනින් කවුද එන්නේ කියලා. Let's check 2.1. 2.1 multiplied by 2.1. බලමු 5 එනවද කියලා. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Then 1, 2 plus 2 is 4. Then මෙතන 4. මෙතන decimal points දෙකක් තියෙනවා. So I keep both. Then I get 4.41. ඔන්න මෙයාගේ එන්නේ 4.41. So මම මෙතන මෙහෙම ලියන්නම්. So මෙතන 4.41 ගත්තොත් 4.41 ගේ square root එක 2.1. That is why 2.1 plus 2.1 multiplied by 2.1 we got 4.41. That means square root of 4.41 is 2.1. Yes, I will explain that again. ඔන්න බලන්න මම මේක steps විදිහට චුට්ටක් ලියන්නද මොකද මේක චුට්ටක් පැටලෙන තැනක්, right? මුලින්ම අපිට පේනවා we have to find the square root of 5. This perfect square number that is immediately before 5 is 4. The perfect square number that is immediately after 5 is 9. Neither. එහෙනම් you know that the square root of 5 should be between 2 and 3. between 2 and 3 කොටස ගත්තොත් again you can divide that section into 2 no, because you know between 2 and 3 we have 2.5. එතකොට 2 between 2 and 2.5 වෙනම set එකක් ඉන්නවා, between 2.5 and 3 වෙනම set එකක් ඉන්නවා. So you know that 5 is closer to 4. මොකද 4 and 5 අතර එකයිනේ තියෙන්නේ, but 5 and 9 අතර 5 6 7 8 9 there's a gap of 4. ඒ කියන්නේ 5 is closer to 4. If 5 is closer to 4, the square root of 5 should be between 2 and 2.5. මේ පැත්ත වෙන්න විදියක් නැහැනේ. If 5 was closer to 9, මෙන්න මෙතන කොහරි වෙන්න පුළුවන් 5 ගේ square root එක. But now 5 is closer to 4, therefore the square root of 5 should be between 2 and 2.5. Is that clear? Is that part clear? Okay. Then between 2 and 2.5, we are going to check what are the numbers. Between 2 and 2.5, අපිට ඉන්නවා 2.1, අපිට ඉන්නවා 2.2, we have 2.3, and we have 2.4. දැන් එක එක check කර කර බලන්න. First, I'm going to check 2.1. So 2.1, 2.1 ගේ multiply කරන්න. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. So මෙතන 1 එනවා, 2 plus 2 is 4, මෙතන 4. මෙතනත් එක decimal point එකක් තියෙනවා, මෙතනත් එක decimal point එකක් තියෙනවා. So when we multiply, the answer should have 2 decimal points. ඔන්න මම decimal points දෙක තියලා මෙන්න මෙහෙම ලියනවා. So 2.1 multiplied by 2.1, the answer is 4.41. ඒ කියන්නේ the square root of 4.41 is 2.1 neda. The square root of 4.41 should be 2.1. We are using 2. Yes.
I didn't understand the 2.1 part.
Yes. ඒක තමයි සශීල්ට තිබ්බ ප්‍රශ්නේ. Let me explain that again. Now, if you take the square root of 5. Square root of 5 තියෙන්නේ before the number 5, the perfect square number that comes before 5 is 4. The perfect square number that comes after 5 is 9 no. එතකොට එහෙනම් 4 ගේ square root එක 2, 9 ගේ square root එක 3. එහෙනම් අපේ 5 ගේ square root එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ 2 and 3 අතරේ නේද? The square root of 5 should be between 2 and 3. Sala and Sasheli, is that clear? That the square root of 5 should be between 2 and 3. Is that clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay. ඊළඟට දැන් 2 and 3 කිව්වම ගොඩක් තියෙනවානේ. Between 2 and 3 කිව්වම you can get 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 and 2.9. ඒ ඔක්කොම numbers තියෙන්නේ 2 and 3 අතරේ. ඔය ඔක්කොම හොයන්න ගියොත් එහෙම it's going to take a lot of time. ඒකෙන්ද අපි ඒක චුට්ටක් simplify කරමු. You know between 2 and 3 we have 2.5 නේ. මම 2 and 3 අතරේ තියෙන gap එක හරියටම දෙකකට බෙදනවා. Right? So, let me show it in a different way. If you take that 2 and 3 අතරේ gap එක මේක කියලා හරියටම මැද තියෙන 2.5 නේ. මැද තියෙන 2.5. Then 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 and 2.4 are before 2.5. Then 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 and 2.9 are after 2.5. Is that clear? Sala, Sasheli, is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Sasheli? Okay. Now, Namai, here 5 is it closer to 4 or is it closer to 9? 5.
4.
4. If 5 is close to 4, the square root of 5 should be close to 2 neither. Did you all get that? Yeah. Sala?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Ehang, if the square root of 5 is closer to 4, the square root of 5 should be closer to 2. And 2 te langa in decimal points api balana. 2 te langa in 2.1 innava, 2.2 innava, 2.3, 2.4. All of these are closer to 4. Metaning ehat 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9. They are closer to 3. Then 3 to close cut anyway, no, na 2 to close cut anyway. So we have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 and 2.4. අපි මේ ඔක්කොම check කර කර බලන්න ඕනේ. Okay. Check කර කර බලන්න මම එක step එකක් විදිහට I took 2.1. So 2.1, 2.1 ගෙන් multiply කරාම I got 4.41. Therefore, the square root of 4.41, 2.1 කියලා ආවා. Now I'm going to check 2.2. Then 2.2 to check කරලා බලන්න. Like this. 2.2 multiplied by 2.2. ඒකත් check කරලා බලන්න. ඒකත් හරිය ගියේ නැත්නම් 2.3 check කරලා බලන්න. Likewise. Sala, Sasha, is it clear? Is it clear up to
Yes.
this point? Okay.
Yes, miss.
All right. Okay. Let's then multiply, no? So 2.2 is, Sala, any question?
No, miss.
Ah, right. Okay. 2.2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Then 2 times 2 is again 4. Then 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So 4, 4 plus 4 is 8 and again 4. So decimal points dekak tiyena, I keep the 2 decimal points and I get the answer as 4.84. If 2.2 multiplied by 2.2 is 4.84, then the square root of 4.84 is 2.2. Is that clear to everybody? Give me a thumbs up. It's very clear. It's very important that you understand this. That's why I'm asking at each step. Others? Okay. Then බලන්න මට 5 නේ ඕනේ. තාම 5 නෑ. This is 4.84. වැඩක් නෑ. එහෙනම් 2.3 බලමු. So 2.3 multiplied by 2.3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So 9.
5.39.
Yes. 6 plus 6 is 12 and 4 plus 1 is 5. Decimal points dekak tibama, you get 5.29. If 2.3 multiplied by 2.3, that means square of 2.3 is 5.29. That means square root of 5.29 should be 2.3. Is that clear to all of you? Okay. Now what I want is not any of this. මට ඕනේ square root of 5. හැබැයි මෙතන මට square root of 5 වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Here I have square root of 4.84 as 2.2. Here I have square root of 5.29 as 2.3. මේ දෙන්න මැද නේද square root of 5 තියෙන්නේ. 4.84 and 5.29 මැදනේ 5 තියෙන්නේ නේ. Now square root of 5 should be between 2.2 and 2.3 again. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me, is 5 closer to 4.84 or 5.29?
4.84.
4.84.
4.84.
Everybody thinks the same? Yes. Since
Yes.
5 is, yes, since 5 is closer to 4.84, we can say that square root of 5 is approximately equal to 2.2 කියලා. මෙහෙමයි ළමයි. මේක ඇවිල්ලා actual value එකක් නෙවෙයි. මොකද හරියට ගත්තොත් square root of 4.84 තමයි අපිට 2.2 කියලා එන්නේ. Square root of 5.29 we get as 2.3. Then square root of 5 should be between 2.2 and 2.3. හැබැයි අපි එච්චර ගොඩක් හොයන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. මෙතනදී අපි assume කරනවා since 5 is closer to 4.84, එයාගේ square root එක තමයි අපි 5 ගේ square root එක විදිහට roughly approximately කියන්නේ. We call this first approximation. We call this first approximation. නැත්නම් අපි කියනවා approximation to the first decimal place here. So first approximation of root 5 is 2.2. Was that clear to everybody? Don't worry, we will do another example, but may example ka another.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
අපි
teacher.
මේක yes. අපි මේක ලියාගෙනමු. පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න දැම්ම ලියන්න එපා ළමයි. Let me just quickly make some changes in the note so that you get a better idea. මම පොඩි points දෙක තුනක් දාන්න. Since 5 is the perfect. මේ උඩ ටික ලියන්න පටන් ගන්න ළමයි question එක දාලා example 1 කියලා දාලා find the square root of 5 කියලා question එක දාන්න. මතක ලියාගෙන යන්න. ළමයි first because this is the first one only we are writing all these sentences. From the second example onwards we don't have to write all these sentences, right? Sorry, මුලින් මේ ටික ලියාගෙන ඉන්න and then I will I'll write the rest. First write this. Let me know when you're done writing this part, huh?
Done, teach.
Others?
No.
මම චූට්ටක් පළාට scroll කරන්න. Can you see the board, Sashali? I just slightly scroll down, no? Okay. As in Sayul, you have to write the whole thing, yes. This whole thing you have to write. මම චුට්ට චුට්ට පළාට scroll කරන්න. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන් උඩ ටික චුට්ට චුට්ට ලියන් යනවනේ. Then I will scroll it down a bit. Let me scroll down a bit. I will scroll down a bit. Let me know when you're done writing this part. Then we will do our next example.
Done, miss.
Okay, others also let me know. Okay, who needs more time? Okay. Okay, I will give you like 2 more minutes. Quickly finish, huh? Okay, let's do the next example. Okay. Only make a hondata because after this I will give you an example to try alone, na? So you pay attention to this. So example 2 is ලියන්න නැතු මුලින් අහගෙන ඉන්න. Find the square root of 22. Okay. Now let's do it together. So we have to find the square root of 22. What is the perfect square number that is immediately before 22? Perfect square number immediately before 22.
16.
16. What is a square number that is immediately after 22?
25.
25. Now you know square root of 16 is 4. And you know the square root of 25 is 5. And what we have to find is the square root of 22. Okay. Now tell me, is 22 closer to 16 or 25?
25.
Others, what do you think?
16.
25.
25.
25 lamaya. Bana 16 and 22 atra gap එක 6 numbers. But 22 and 25 atra it's just 3 numbers. So obviously 22 is closer to 25. So if you take the gap between 4 and 5, if you take the gap between 4 and 5, there is 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.67, 4.8, 4.9. That is, those are the numbers. Hata මැද තමයි 4.5 ඉන්නේ. Now, since 22 is closer to 25, do you understand that the square root of 22 should be in this particular gap? Like 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9. ඔන්න ඔය අතර නේද තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Since 22 is closer to 25, the square root of 22 should be closer to 5. 22 is closer to 25. So the square root of 22 should be closer to 5. Is that clear to you? Yes. එහෙනම් අපි try කරලා බලමු එක එක numbers, right? We will try and see. මම නිකන් randomly මැදින් වගේ අරගෙන බලන්නම්. I'm going to check 4.7. Let's see. මම පැත්තෙන් multiplication එක කරනවා. 4.7 multiplied by 4.7. 7 times 7 is 49, 4 remaining. 7 times 4 is 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Then 4 times 7 is 28, 2 remaining. 4 times 4 is 16, 17, 18. Okay. Let's add. Method 9, 8 plus 2 is 10, 1 remaining, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 1 remaining, 1 plus 1 is 2. Then there are 2 decimal numbers now. 2 decimal numbers. 22.09 is the answer I get. Okay. That means 4.7 multiplied by 4.7, I get the answer as 22.09. එහෙනම් 22.09 ගේ square root එක එන්න ඕනේ 4.7. Now what I want is 22 නේ. So එහෙනම් මේක 22.09 means it's a bit higher than 22. එහෙනම් මම 4.6 බලනවා. 4.6 බලමු. 4.6 multiplied by 4.6. 6 times 6 is 36, 3 remaining. 6 times 4 is 24, 25, 26, 27. 4 times 6 is 24, 2 remaining. 4 times 4 is 16, 17, 18. Then 6, 7 plus 4 is 11, 1 remaining, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 remaining, 1 plus 1 is 2. එතන මට එනවා 21.16 decimal points දෙකක් තියෙනවානේ. So 4.6 multiplied by 4.6 is 21.16. Then square root of 21.16 would be 4.6. මෙතන decimal points දෙකක් තියෙන්නේ. මම දැන් multiply කරන්නේ 4.6 and 4.6 නෝ. When I multiply 4.6 and 4.6 මම decimal place එක අමතක කරලා දානවා. decimal place එක අමතක කරලා දාලා 46 multiplied by 46. So මම මේක කරාම මෙතන මට එනවා 2116. මේ 4.6 එක decimal point එකක් තියෙනවා. මේ 4.6 තව decimal point එකක් තියෙනවා. answer එකට එනකොට multiply වෙන කට්ටියගේ decimal points ඔක්කොම add වෙලා එන්නේ. So here one decimal point, here another decimal point, altogether 2 decimal points. Therefore, in the answer, you have to keep 2 decimal places and put the decimal point here. Sayul, is it clear? Okay. බලන්න ළමයි, what I want is the square root of 22. එහෙනම් 22 එන්නේ මේ දෙන මැද නේද? Because 21.16 is less than 22 and 22.09 is more than 22. එහෙනම් 22 ගේ square root එක එන්නේ මෙන්න මේ දෙන මැද. Tell me, is 22 closer to 21.16 or 22.09?
22.09.
22.09.
Everybody says 22.09. Yes. මෙතන gap එක තියෙන චූටිම චූටි gap එකක්. So of course 22 is closer to 22.09. එහෙනම් ඒ square root එක තමයි මම 22 ගේ square root එක විදියට ගන්න as a first approximation. So I say square root of 22 මම කෙලිම equal දාන්නේ නැහැ. Because 22 ගේ square root එක 4.7 නෙවෙයි. 4.7 is the square root of 22.09, not 22. හැබැයි මම නිකන් roughly approximately 4.7 කියලා දාන හින්දා මම මෙන්න මෙහෙම curve equal එකක් තමයි දාන්නේ. The first approximation of 22 is 4.7. It's just an approximation. It's not the real value. Real value ඊට වඩා චුට්ටක් වෙනස් වෙන්න ඕනේ. But since 22 is closer to 22.09, 22.09 ගේ square root එක තමයි මම 22 ගේ square root එක විදිහට approximately කියන්නේ. Did you all understand that?
So in exam, can we write like this?
Yes, Sala. This is exactly how you should write. Okay?
Then we don't need the real value. We can write
Yeah.
like.
We don't need the real value because that is what first approximation means. Now in the exam, they will tell you first approximation they use karane. There's another method, no division method. So they will let you know whether to use the first approximation method or the division method. Okay. So if they ask you to use the first approximation method, this is how you use it. So it might not be the real value. That is why we call it an approximation. It's an approximated value. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? All clear? Okay, I think then you guys can write this down. Example 2 එකත් ලියාගන්න බලන්න. Square root of 22 කියලා මේක ලියාගන්න බලන්න එනවා. Make it fast. Let me know when you're done. Make it fast. Everybody done writing? Anyone who needs more time? Anyone who needs more time? Okay. I will give you like 2 more minutes. Huh? Then we will try a question alone. Okay. I will give you something to try alone. Actually, අපි මගේ එකක් දෙන්න නැතුව අපි ටෙක්ස්ට් බුක් එකේ තියෙන question එකක් try කරමු. Excuse me. In exercise 2.1, can you all try the third Roman number? In exercise 2.1, the third Roman number. You have to find the first approximation of root of 67. 67 ke square root ko hand as a first approximation. Try that. Try that. Make it fast. I will give you like 10 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes wage denna ogalanta. Quickly try. Root of 67 as a first approximation. Make it fast. Others also quickly do, Lamaya. Okay, Lamaya, has everybody finished? Who needs more time? I think I gave you 10 minutes again. So now 9 minutes have gone. Anybody who needs time? No. Anika, Jevindu, Sandaru, Sayul, Shweta, Joshua, Aisha, Senudi, have you finished? Alia, Basma, Kushit, Maria, Ovanya, Sala, Sasheli. Okay, I just called some random names. එතකොට ඔයත් ඔයගොල්ලන් respond කරයි කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ හැමෝම කළ ඉවරයිනේ. We can discuss, no? Okay. Great. What is the perfect square number that is immediately before 67?
64.
Immediately after 67?
80.
81. We know the square root of 64 is 8. And we know the square root of 81 is 9. And what we have to find is the square root of 67. And you know clearly 67, the square root of, excuse me, square root of 67 should be between 8 and 9. Okay. If we consider the gap between 8 and 9, There is 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, and then 8.6, 7, 8. Likewise, එහෙම තියෙනවානේ. හට මැද තියෙන්නේ 8.5. Is our 67 closer to 64 or 81?
64.
Clearly 64, right? මෙතන චූටි gap එකයි තියෙන්නේ. So 67 is closer to 64. එහෙනම් if 67 is closer to 64, the square root of 67 should be closer to the square root of 64, which is 8. එහෙනම් මෙතන මෙන්න මේ gap එක තමයි අපි consider කරන්න ඕනේ. So there's 8.1, there's 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, and likewise. අපි nekin එක බලමු, right? So we will try 8.1. 8.1 multiplied by 8.1. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 8 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 8 is 64. So 1, 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 1. Sorry, 16. එතකොට 1 මේ පැත්තට එනවා. 4 plus 1 is 5 and 6. Here there's 1 decimal point, 1 decimal point. So altogether there are 2 decimal points. So we get 65, 61. If 8.1 multiplied by 8.1 is 65.61, then the square root of 65.61 should be 8.1. Now let's try 8.2. 8.2 balloon. Two times 2 is 4, 2 times 8 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16, 1 remaining, 8 times 8 is 64, plus 1, 65. So 4, 6 plus 6 is 12, 1 remaining, 5, 6, 7. Here 6. So 67.24. 8.8 multiplied by 8.8, sorry, 8.2 multiplied by 8.2, you get 67.24. Therefore, the square root of 67.24 should be 8.2. Now, what I want is the square root of 67. දැන් බලන්න 67 තියන්නේ 65.61 and 67.24 මැද. 67 is somewhere here. Tell me, is 67 closer to 65.61 or 67.24?
67.24.
7.24.
Others?
7.2.
Yes. Since 67 is closer to 67.24, එයාගේ square root එක තමයි අපි ගන්නෙ approximately 64 ගේ square root එක කියලා. Therefore, square root of 67 is approximately 8.2. If it's clear, give me a thumbs up, lamai. If you have any questions, you can ask. We'll try just one more. තව එකම එකක් try කරමු and then we will move on to the division method. In the same exercise 2.1, try the fourth one. Fourth Roman number එක try කරන්න බලන්න. Fourth Roman number එකේ තියෙන්නේ 115. Square root of 115. Let's quickly do that. Again, I will give you like 8 minutes, Wagi. If you finish before that, good. But you have 8 minutes. Quickly start. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, I will give you 2 more minutes for others to complete. Huh? Anybody who needs more time before we start discussing? Everybody done? Done, right? Can all hear me? Okay.
Teacher.
Yes, Sanudi. Can hear, no? Okay. So if you take 115, what is the perfect square number just before 115?
100.
After 115?
121.
121. Very good. So you know the square root of 100 is 10. You know the square root of 121 is 11. Therefore, the square root of 115 should be between 10 and 11. Between 10 and 11. If you take the gap between 10 and 11, there is 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 5, 6, 7, 10.8, 10.9 and likewise. Ada mada tiyane 10.5. If you look at this, is 115 closer to 100 or 121?
121.
221.
Yes. With 100, between 100 and 115, there's a 15 gap. Between 115 and 121, there's only a 6 gap. Therefore, it's closer to 121. Ehena, metanath, if 115 is closer to 121, the square root of 115 should be closer to the square root of 121, which is 11. So, metanath 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, and 10.9. So, we will try each and every one and see which one is the first approximation. 10.6 Balamu. 10.6 multiplied by 10.6. 6 times 6 is 36, 3 remaining. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 6 times 1 is 6. 0 times 6 is 0, 0. 0 times 1 is also 0. 1 times 6 is 1, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 1 is 1. So 6, 3, 6 plus 6 is 12, 1 remaining, 1, 1. So method decimal points dekakte no, we get 112.36. 112.36. So 10.6 multiplied by 10.6 is 112.36. Therefore, square root of 112.36 would be 10.6. We'll try 10.7. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 1 is 7. 0 times 0 ne. 1 times 7 is 7. 0. 1 times 1 is 1. So 9, 4, 7 plus 7 is 14 and 1. That is 114.49. So 10.7 multiplied by 10.7 is 114.49. Therefore, 114.49's square root is 10.7. What I want is 115. Then we will try 10.8 as well. Ogan samata kapara answer kennati, but I'm just putting myself in your shoes and trying it just like how you would try it. 10 times 10 is 64. 10 times 1 is, 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8. Then 0, 0, 0. 1 times 8, 1, 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 4, 6, 8 plus 8 is 16 and 1. So 10.8 multiplied by 10.8 is 116.64. That means square root of 116.64 is 10.8. Now, Lamai, can you see that what we want is 115? 115 would be in between these two nether. Medena meda tamai 115 enne. Now you tell me, is 115 closer to 114.49 or 116.64?
116.64.
Okay, check again. Gap එක බලන්න difference එක subtract කරලා.
140.
49.
Yeah. 114.49. I got the answer in the chat box as well. Yes, 114.49. Since 115 is closer to 114.49, first approximation of 115 is 10.7. Is that clear to all of you? Give me a thumbs up, please. Okay. I will give you 1 minute to make any recorrections. Quickly do. If you have any recorrections, quickly make them. I will give you just 1 minute. If you have any recorrections, quickly make. So, recorrections our second method is the division method. No? So I think we will start it next day since we are nearing our finishing time. So next day, we are actually going to finish the square root lesson and we are going to start the fractions lesson, right? I have a feeling that we will be able to finish the fractions lesson as well. But take up next week, right? If we can finish square root and then if we can finish fractions also, I think it will be a very good situation. Because square root will a division method I don't think it will take too much time. But we need a lot of practice. We will do some example questions, then I will give you some homework. Mark the homework, lamai. There is only one homework. Exercise 2.1 එක fifth Roman number. 1070 වල square root එක හොයන්න තියෙන එක. ඒකෙන් මම ඒක ආයමත් කාටවත් කියන්නේ නැහැ මේ group එකට දාන්න කියලා because it's just one homework now, so I will put in the group. 2.1 fifth Roman number. Okay. So before we finish the class today, do you have any questions or anything that you found a bit doubtful? Any questions, any concerns, or is everything clear? If everything is clear, give me a thumbs up. Basma, Anika, okay. Sayul, Jevindu, Aisha, Joshua, Kushit, Sala. All right. Next week, we are meeting on 24th. One second. Lamai, next week is the Christmas week, and I think, one second, let me check the calendar. I think next week I will give it a holiday for you all. Yes. 24th of December, which is the Christmas Eve, I'm going to give it a holiday. මම එච්චර holiday සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නම් ගොඩක් අපිට වැඩ තියෙනවා නම් I don't give the holiday, but we are just starting out, so and anyways it's a Christmas week. ඔයගන්ට New Year week එකේ මම holiday එකක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. 31st of January we will do the class as usual, but 24th I will give it a holiday. But one second. Anybody who is religiously celebrating Christmas? Any Catholics or Christians? Right. Okay. Then Christmas Eve is a holiday. Otherwise, එහෙම නැත්තම් මම Christmas Eve හරි 31st හරි දවස් දෙකේ එකක් තමයි දෙන්නේ. Anyways, අපිට මේ month එකේ දවස් 5ක් තියෙනවානේ අපේ classes නේ. So we did the class on 3rd of December. Then last week we did on 10th of December. Then today is 17th of December. Then we have 24th and 31st. So දවස් 5ක් class එක කරන හින්දා we can get a holiday, no problem.